As always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the week?
I had to go with the NBA. I thought it was smart after all that happened football wise and all of the attention on the sport over the weekend. They had to try to swing the pendulum back into the NBA's favor. So they scheduled a mid-season Harlem Globetrotters game with the Globetrotters beating the hell out of the Boston Celtics. It was great. They even had a Globetrotter posing as a fan to hit a half court shot for $20,000. It was amazing. What a thing going on there in OKC. How about that? Thunder put up 150 on the Celtics.
That was something, man. I mean, that was fun to watch without Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. It was kind of one of those things where it was like, oh, SGA is not playing. The Celtics are in town. Let's get this thing over with. Even though Boston, they're not playing as good as they did early in the year when they just looked incredible offensively with Tatum and Brown. But yeah, that was an ass whooping, dude. I mean, start to finish, put it on them.
That's like they're going to have to replace the rims, like dunk after dunk after dunk. It was just cool to see. Giddy had a nice game. Some of the young guys getting in on the action. It was crazy. They had a 44-point quarter and a 48-point quarter there in the second and the third. Just absolute beatdown. That was
five
cool.
Guys over 20. It was, I mean, that's the most points in Thunder history, man. They did it in a game where they didn't have their best player and they're playing a really good team. Now, Celtics didn't have Robert Williams. I understand that. But listen, one thing I will say about the Thunder, that team, they very rarely at any point in the game just pack it up and say, all right, hey, not our night. The Celtics did that at like the start of the third quarter. Even Marcus Smart, I forget when he got ejected, but it was one of those where, did he get ejected because he's mad, or was he like, okay, I don't want to play this game anymore? He kind of had that feel to it.
It's like, I know some people from I got to go see some people from around here. I'm going to go hit the showers early.
Yeah, it was but that was fun to watch. I was watching it out here, and yeah, just shot after shot after shot. Sometimes you just have one of those nights, and the Thunder were on fire. Man, Isaiah Joe, Giddy, it didn't matter. Like, everyone was hitting.
Yeah, and sometimes, whenever you've got a group of young, somewhat unknown, somewhat unproven players, a night like that can spark something for a team, without your best player. And who knows, man, that was cool to see and a lot of fun. That, with football over, that was, I think some fans around here needed something to pick them up a little bit, have some fun with, and that came at the perfect time.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, you start looking at the standings, and who knows? There's a lot of basketball to be played, but Thunder only a game and a half out of the play-in. Just saying.
Yep.
Just saying. Now we'll see how the rest of the season goes, but they've been very entertaining, man. And it hasn't just been SGA. I think that the fan base, I know I certainly do. I appreciate the effort that team plays with, like the fight night in and night out that they play with. I don't think you can question, how much talent's on the roster, how's it stack up with other teams in the league. You can talk a lot about that, but I think they play as hard as any team in the NBA. And
that's all you can ask for.
That's all you can ask for. Like, I think the fan base sees that. So would be awfully nice if Chet Holmgren could come back here, but I know that's not the plan. I'm just saying. But yeah, dude, that was fun to watch. And Boston Celtics fans, I don't know if you went through Twitter at all. They did not handle it well. It was great.
I can imagine. Can't imagine. But hey, um, at least I guess if you're on the East Coast, you could hang it up early in that one and go ahead and hit the sack and go to bed.
Yeah,
That's the one positive from it.
that's
Wow.
that's a great way of looking at it. All right, who do you have as your loser of the week?
Well, there's few things I feel like that don't need improving. And one of the few things out there that it doesn't necessarily, not that it doesn't need improving, but it doesn't need a wholesale change. And the proposal of going to a 90 or 90 plus team NCAA college basketball tournament is preposterous, in my opinion. I know that they're trying to make more money. I know that they're trying to get in what it ends up being like a quarter of the teams. I understand all that, but I still think it's dumb. A 90 team tournament, no, thank you. This doesn't need to change. Everyone, if you can't make it into the top, 60 some teams, then you have to say at some point you don't deserve to be there, right? Like, what are we talking about? I don't. I think it's crazy.
What we're talking about is more money.
I know.
From the tournament, and this is kind of how I see it. It's going to happen because the money is there, the sponsorship's going to be there, and we're all going to end up loving it because it's just going to be another round of March Madness. And I think the tournament's great the way it is. I think it's difficult to get in. It's fun. It's exciting. Like championship week leading up is like, it's a lot of fun to watch, all those things, but it's going to be just like anything else. It's going to change. We're going to talk about how stupid it is, how we don't like it. Then we're going to get used to it. And we'll be like, you know what? It's not that bad. It's more March Madness, but yeah, it's all about the NCAA. They control one thing that's important, Ted, and that's the NCAA basketball tournament. So they're looking at it going, hey, let's stay alive. Let's stay relevant. Let's bring in more money. And they're going to do it, right? There's going to be a lot of pushback, but I expect it to happen. And we'll get used to it, I think. And it'll be, OU will make more tournaments this way. So It's not, overall, it's not a horrible thing,
Okay. And I will yield to that point. But can I just ask one thing? Can we please speed the damn thing up? It's too long. It's already too long. You have this great momentum. Pretty much everyone in the country fills out a bracket, right? You get through the first weekend, a lot of brackets are busted, all right? You get through the second weekend, everyone's out of it. And then it drags on and on and on. And you totally lose everyone. If I was them, when you have everyone's attention, you do everything you can to keep it. And if they condensed it, it would go a really long way. But that is something that, again, probably will not happen.
Not only are they not going to condense it, this is just going to stretch it out even more.
Yeah. March, April, and May Madness is what we've got coming.
Yeah. They already play the title game in April.
I know.
So, yeah, middle of April Madness, baby. Let's go.
What does a 90 team bracket even look like?
No idea. That's one of this is what you do. There's those bracket generators on the internet, and you say, hey, how many teams? 90, and it spits out a bracket. I don't know how to do it. The internet does it for you, man.
So, like,
will there be buys?
There has to be.
Right. There's got to be some buys in there somehow. We probably should have just read more about it, but that would be.
Well, right now, technically, 62 teams get a bye. They call the stupid ass play-in games the first round, which is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. So There you go. Well, it's not the dumbest thing.
It's up there. It's up
It's
there
yet
for you.
another dumb thing that I've seen in my life. How about
Yeah.
that?
All right, let's get to my winner and loser. But first,
First Fidelity Bank is a full-service financial institution based in Oklahoma with tailored solutions for all your personal and business needs. Checking accounts, saving accounts, home loans, and much more. They do it all, whether it's online banking from your computer or mobile banking from your phone. Everything is stress-free with FFB. Making mobile deposits, paying bills online, and moving money to different accounts could not be easier. First Fidelity Bank provides free ATMs worldwide, making banking convenient wherever you are. They also give back to the community. FFB donates a total of more than $500,000 to local charities and educational foundations. Make your life easier and go bank with First Fidelity Bank. Visit ffb.com for more information.
and if you're a whiskey or bourbon drinker, stop what you're doing, head to your favorite liquor store and buy some Balcones products. You got to grab some of Balcones Lineage single malt whiskey. It was voted one of the top 20 whiskeys in the world by Whiskey Advocate, and you'll be shocked by how affordable it is. Also, you got to snag some of Balcones Baby Blue Corn whiskey.
It's made from blue corn. That's the fancy corn.
And that is why it has won more than 25 awards. Last, but certainly not least, you got to buy some of Balcones Pot Still Bourbon. Its big flavors make it the perfect bourbon to drink year-round. Remember, Balcones Single Malt won the Best in Glass competition back in 2012, beating brands like Johnnie Walker and Macallan. This stuff is the real deal, people. If you love great whiskey and bourbon at a great price, then Balcones products are the only way to go. The whiskey may be made in Texas, but the owners are from Oklahoma. To find a liquor store that has it, visit balconesdistilling.com. All right, for my winner of the week, thought about going with Penn State. Man, they put it on Utah in the Rose Bowl. That's a nice win for James Franklin. And I was happy for Sean Clifford. That guy he's had an up and down career there. And it was nice to see him finish off with a really solid performance. I thought he played really well in that game.
He did. I agree. Man, I wish Cam Rising wouldn't have gone down.
Yeah, that sucked.
I thought it was still going to be a good game at that point. Backup comes in, throws an interception a play or two later, and they just never had a chance to get back into it. But yeah, that was good for Penn State. I would not have picked them to win it. I was going with Utah, but that's a nice win for Penn State.
We've got something that just came out as we are recording when it comes to winner of the week material. I would say the Texas A&M haters are going to have themselves a time. Ted, you want to guess who Jimbo Fisher just hired as his offensive coordinator and to take over play calling duties?
Give it to me.
Of course, you want to go young, you want to be innovative. So, of course, you hire Bobby Petrino to be the offensive coordinator for the Texas A&M Aggies.
Hired him right out from under Barry Odom's nose?
Apparently.
Wow. How about that? That's interesting. That's not going to go over well. I'm sure he's got some
young, fresh ideas.
That's not going to go well. Are you sure that that's real?
I am looking right at it, dude. Chris Lowe, ESPN. Jimbo Fisher is finalizing a deal to hire Bobby Petrino as Texas A&M's offensive coordinator. He will also take over play calling duties. Sources tell ESPN. Got a feeling that fan base is going to be not happy.
Listen, he's done some good things. He could call some offense. He's done some good things in the past, but that's a shock right there. Shock. How many people you think turned him down before he got there?
A lot.
Has to be a lot, right?
Had to be at least 5.
Wow. That's fascinating.
It is. And I can't wait for there's going to be so many reasons to use that picture of Petrino in the neck brace now. Oh my gosh.
There's
the
probably
internet
already
today.
Oh yeah. There's probably already one where it's Jimbo Fisher in the neck brace, right? It has to be.
It's got to be great. Thank you. Thank you, Jimbo. The internet's going to love this. But my winner of the week, and this is the way I'll put it, like good things happening because of terrible situations. That's what I'm going to say, because the Damar Hamlin situation was scary as hell, right? Praying for him, praying for his family, his loved ones, all his teammates, coaches, all the Bills Mafia, right? That situation on Monday Night Football was as scary as it gets, right? The guy just collapses like that. You don't see that. You don't see that often. And it sounds like all the latest updates have been very positive. Seems like things are trending in the direction that the doctors were hoping that they would trend. So we'll see what happens with his overall health moving forward, and what it means for his football career. But out of that awful situation, something good came out of it, right? Because by now everyone's seen the toy drive for his foundation that he was doing before Christmas, the Chasing M's Foundation. This thing had a goal of $2,500, and I just checked it. They are currently up to $6.5 million. So to help his community, the things that he was doing through his foundation, that was really cool to see people respond to that, and people continue to give and give and give. But man, Ted, it was a great reminder. Football is an extremely violent game. It can be very scary at times, but something, out of a situation that was as scary as that was, good and positivity has prevailed with people given to his foundation. So, an awful situation, and I don't think he's out of the woods yet, but it seems like things are trending well. But that was really cool to see people respond that way.
Yeah, a very modest goal of $2,500 to help some kids with the toy drive, and up to $6.5 million. He's going to have some help allocating that much.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
They have to hire someone.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah. Whenever people want to help and are worried of the situation and don't know what else to do, this is how people are going to help out, and it's awesome to see. Thought it was great.
Yeah, but I know a lot of people want to dive into, were they going to restart the game? What did the NFL say? What did they not say? You've got, Joe Buck and ESPN defending what they were saying. Hey, we're going to restart. Like, I don't really care about that. I care about the fact that it seems like he's all right, and that people responded in this way. I just think, it makes you there. We get inundated with a lot of negative, right? And it was cool to see people do this. So that was, out of a awful situation, as bad as it can be, right? Monday Night Football getting called off, guy getting CPR in the field, like the whole thing, like as bad as it could be, to his foundation just getting supported like this. It's awesome.
No, it is. I've got one thing to add, and it's not in a negative sense, but it's something I think needs to be said. We did the podcast after the game, and we're super critical of Florida State and the fake injury situation, right? And the way this unfolded hammers home why I'm so frustrated with the faking of injuries. Whenever you have guys crying wolf time after time after time on the field, we become desensitized to it. Medical staff, coaches, officials, and I want everyone to go back and watch the replay of what happened on Monday Night Football. The tackle's made. He stands up. and then passes out backwards. It looks like one of the situations we've seen where guys take a dive, right? And just flop and fall back or act hurt. The official like sees it happen and like shrugs like this, blows the whistle, and calls for official timeout. These seconds are critical. And I'm not saying that the medical staff on the field didn't get out there in time, and I'm not saying that's bad on the official. But what I'm saying is whenever guys fake injury time and time and time again, everyone becomes desensitized to it, and it doesn't appear to be as critical or dangerous of a situation as it is. It just reinforces my opinion that it should be totally eliminated from the game.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Yeah, I hadn't really thought about that. Yeah, because you see guys just kind of going limp and laying down, right, to slow down tempo teams in college football. And, it doesn't look all that different than what we saw from Hamlin. So that's an interesting
Go back
point.
And watch the official.
Yeah.
Watch the official. He shrugs and puts his hands up. Like, because that's exactly what he thought it was. He thought he was just doing one of those flops.
Yeah. So, most importantly, praying for Hamlin, his family, everyone, and hopefully, it's at this point, it's like hopefully he can just live a normal life after this. But clearly, I was playing football for a living. Hopefully, we get to see him back out on the football field sometime soon. But an awful situation. People responded in a very cool way, supporting his foundation. So I wanted to find a way to work that in, and that was the best I could come up with, man.
It's awesome. Very, very well done, and I'm sure that number is going to continue to climb.
Yeah. All right, for my loser of the week, thought about going with Mike Gundy because people just keep entering the portal. What, John Paul Richardson, Bryson Green, who you and I really like, Stephon Johnson, who had a huge play for them in the bowl game, like all in the portal, all wide receivers. What's going on in Stillwater, man? I like, are they trying to get Casey Dunn fired? Are they trying to get a new quarterback there? Like, this is not good for Oklahoma State.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't heard anything within the program as to what's going on, but gosh, they've got to be up there with Texas A&M for guys that have hit the portal. And it's not just number of players in the portal. A&M's got a bunch of players in the portal, a bunch of young guys from last year's signing class. And not that that's insignificant, but Oklahoma State is losing like the bulk of their relevant players, or at least up to this point have played, guys that are, the stars, the rotational guys. It's kind of the who's who of their roster, which is, it's not good. I don't know what's going on there, but it's going to be tough to come back from that. I mean, that's, they've done a really good job at making the best of the talent that they have. I don't know how in the world they can absorb a shot like they've had so far through the portal.
Yeah, it's strange, but Gundy's got to figure it out. I mean, and quick. You got to get some of these guys to get out of the portal and come back. But we'll see. Oklahoma State fans have to be getting a little nervous, though, man.
It's scary.
Yeah,
scary.
But my loser of the week, USC. Of course, we're going to talk about this. People, come on, what'd you think? Up 15 on Tulane with what was like 4:20 something left to go in the game, and it essentially was a disaster from that point on. Tulane goes right down the field in 2 plays, scores a touchdown. Then, for whatever reason, instead of just letting the ball go out of bounds, Mario Williams tries to handle it on the kickoff. He bobbles it out at like the 1-yard line. I think it was on the second play of that drive. Tulane forces a safety. So that made it 45-39. Then Tulane gets the ball after the safety, of course, and proceeds to go 12 plays, 66 yards. They convert 4th and 6 and 4th and 10 on that drive.
No
And
timeouts. Did they have it? They had no timeouts on the was it the whole drive or most of the drive?
Yeah. So it
The
was
whole drive?
like,
Yeah.
it was, and Michael Pratt, who we saw up close and personal, right? Remember?
Yeah.
And we liked him then. He put
That's
the team on his
exactly
back.
what he looked like.
Yeah. Put the team on his back. Leads a fantastic game-winning drive. Hell of a catch by the tight end there in the end zone. Not letting that one hit the ground. But man, that was a collapse for Southern Cal. And that's not a fun way to end a season at all.
No. They go from maybe being the hottest program in the country to I don't know what you call it, with the amount of backlash from their own fans, from their own media, from personalities across the country in college football about Lincoln Riley, and same situation, and former players of theirs chiming in.
What did Lindell White say? It's a shame to be a Trojan today. I was like, damn, man.
Which, that's crazy to me. Was he saying the same thing last year when they were 4-8? I mean, I'm not saying that it's okay that they lost the game in the fashion that they did, but they haven't even been there a calendar year yet. So I don't know. That was a little wild, but a bad look. Bad look.
Yeah, and Tajay Spears destroyed that USC defense. That man was running wild. 205, 4 touchdowns. And I know, and this is something that you and I talk about quite a bit with any defense, but whether people were calling for Ted Roof's job this year or it was Alex Grinch, people calling for his job last year. Now the USC fans are doing the same thing with Alex Grinch. Go back and look at some of Tajay Spears' runs. Guys are unblocked, there to make a tackle. Unblocked, no one touching them, one-on-one, there to make a tackle. That's on those guys. Like, they're there to make the play. Like, I know everyone wants to blame the system, all this stuff. Dude, guys have to make plays. And I'm not trying to, now, I like Grinch a lot. I don't want him to get fired out there at USC because he's a great dude. But what else can he do, man? There are guys one-on-one with Tajay Spears, and I'm not talking like out in space. I'm talking in the hole, whiffing on him. That's on the defensive coordinator. Like,
this
players got to make plays, man.
Yeah, this isn't 7th grade. Yeah, you drill tackling. Yes, you practice tackling. Yes, a coach has a say in how you train it and how you develop it. Yes. But for the most part, the coach's job is to put you in a position schematically to where you have a chance. And if you got unblocked guys right there to make plays and they can't do it, then I don't know the answer on as to how you fix that. I mean, a lot of it is player, a lot of it is development, but it's hard to be mad at a coach whenever you've got a guy standing there in the gap unblocked and he's not even making contact on the tackle. It's frustrating.
It was something to watch, but Ted, my allegiances, my connection to USC is officially gone because Connor McQueen got hired as the offense coordinator at Incarnate Word, and he is taking the one, the only Austin Woods with him to be his offensive line coach. So, teammate, one of my best friends, groomsman in my wedding, no longer at USC. I no longer have to even pay attention to that program, really. My connection to it is gone, and it feels good, man. Let's go. Come on, baby. Come on, Woods. Let's go Incarnate Word.
Well, good for you, because at least as of right now, my connection is still there. And I'm hoping he's able to stay there. But that's awesome. And good for Austin Woods getting the O-line coaching job. That's great. Go from defense to offense.
Defensive analyst, lead defensive analyst, to the O-line coach. Back where he belongs, baby. Come on. Come on.
Oh, and John Cooper, offensive line coach at North Texas.
Awesome. Good for Coop. I know it seems like he had multiple options there. And yeah, he's a tremendous coach. So I'm excited for those O-linemen at North Texas. I'll say this. O-linemen at North Texas. Boys, get ready to work. Because Coop does not play around, man. He does not play around.